Now, KCAU 9 News starts with your forecast first.
Hey, good evening, Siouxland. We've seen that conditions have been pretty pleasant throughout the daytime with a little bit of clearing and some light sprinkles that did pop up, but we'll see that temperatures were able to rise across the region solidly into the 50s and 60s as we're starting to come down with some 40s popping up to our east. As I'll let you know if we're expecting warm weather through the evening and the rest of the work week as KCAU 9 News starts right now.
We are Siouxland proud. This is KCAU 9 News at 6.
And good evening. Thanks for being with us on this Monday night. I'm Tim Seaman. This evening we have updates on multiple shootings taking place here in Sioux City within the last week. What we've learned in 2 cases in our top story tonight at 6. Police now say that the victim of a Thursday afternoon shooting, 24-year-old Jamal Balata of Sioux City, has died from injuries suffered in that event. He died on Sunday. 27-year-old Jonas Maldonado of Sioux City is now held in connection with the shooting and is now facing first-degree murder charges. Police reports indicate that Balata and another man were walking in the 700 block of 16th Street when Maldonado approached a vehicle, called Balata a racial slur, and shot 5 times. Balata was reportedly hit in the neck and the shoulder area. He later tried to run before collapsing. Maldonado was taken into custody after a pursuit in South Dakota and here in Iowa, which ended when Maldonado's car hit a lamppost in Sioux City. That investigation tonight is ongoing. Meanwhile, Sioux City police report that the man shot in an officer-involved shooting over the weekend has now died, and an investigation by the Iowa Department of Criminal Investigation is underway. Officials say that 30-year-old Vicente Hernandez of Hull died from his injuries in that shooting event. Early Saturday morning, officers made a traffic stop on a vehicle near 18th and Grandview Boulevard. During that stop, officers say they learned Hernandez was wanted on felony criminal warrants. Authorities add that the officers tried to get Hernandez into custody, but he resisted arrest and officers fired a weapon. Police tell us that 2 officers are now on administrative leave per department policy, pending the outcome of an investigation from the Iowa Department of Criminal Investigation as well as by the Sioux City Police Department. Those are both now currently underway. A Morningside area restaurant will be able to continue with plans to offer alcohol to its customers. The Sioux City City Council this afternoon approving a rezoning request for Sarge's Philly Time. In the 3rd reading by council members, the vote of 3-1 with 1 abstention today, allowing that to move forward with the zoning request. Sarge's Philly Time will be rezoned from suburban commercial to mixed use. Now, the restaurant's operator told council weeks ago that the rezoning would give customers the option to buy an alcoholic beverage with their meal, something that they had requested. The business still must receive a conditional use permit. Meanwhile, the South Sioux City Community School Board's weighing in on future plans for the district. The discussion from this afternoon follows months of community meetings where people weighed in on 4 potential improvement plans for the South Sioux City district. Board members have been asked to approve a plan costing an estimated $127 million. It includes building a new intermediate center for 5th and 6th graders, constructing a new kindergarten through 4th grade building, and a new pre-kindergarten building itself, along with improving security and accessibility for all schools. The school board is expected to vote on that matter after today's discussion. They could do it as soon as next week. Quick break now to check back in with Chief Meteorologist Victor Perez. After a very warm afternoon, how chilly might we see tonight, Victor?
Well, we'll still be staying warm, though we're going to be seeing temperatures drop to the 20s, but a very warm day that we had. And you'll see that we started off the day warm as well, about 10 degrees above what is our typical low for this time of year, and our temperatures rising into the low 60s. And we'll see what a difference a week has made, because last week at this time, we were talking about daytime highs struggling to rise to 4 degrees and wind chills that were well below 0 for the whole day. But you'll see that we're seeing 50s and 60s kicking off this week. And I'll let you know how many more we expect through the rest of the week. Tim?
All right, thanks, Victor. The South Dakota House of Representatives has denied reconsideration of a bill that would fund the new men's state prison project. Lawmakers voting 35 to 35 on that reconsideration. That all follows that same measure failing on Friday on a vote of 34 to 35. Now, the legislation was amended to only allow the transfer of $148 million into that incarceration construction fund. The prison project has a guaranteed maximum price of $825 million, which is set to expire on March 31st. That prison is set to be built in Lincoln County, just south of Sioux Falls. Iowa lawmakers were greeted by another loud group of protesters today. Planned Parenthood holding a rally at the Iowa State Capitol, advocating for comprehensive sexual and reproductive health care. More than 100 people showed up in pink shirts to talk with state lawmakers today about expanding health care for Planned Parenthood. Iowa House Minority Leader Jennifer Conforst saying that Planned Parenthood should be a part of the family planning clinic conversation. She says that Iowans do value reproductive freedom, but the Republican majority in charge at the State House is not listening to them.
So the question isn't who's fighting for us. The question is why are they ignoring you? Why aren't they listening to you? We are the pro-choice majority. We are the majority of Iowans, and they're ignoring us because they're listening to special interests and not their constituents. And frankly, they can't get away with it anymore.
Some of the bills that those advocates spoke out against include one that would ban medication abortions here in Iowa. A Sioux City nonprofit is inching closer to opening its doors to sick families in need. Mitchell Hospice House, located in the former Countryside Senior Living Building, is an alternative to a nursing home. The Hospice House will have 9 rooms open to folks with terminally ill family members, and they will provide round-the-clock medical treatment and attention. The nonprofit hopes to provide a home-like setting for families beginning next month.
Honestly, I'm thrilled that this is finally happening. I have been fielding phone calls for the last 5 years, roughly, of people that wanted to know if we were open because they have a loved one that this would be perfect for. And having to tell them we don't have it operational yet is heartbreaking. So I'm thrilled that we can be there for the families and the resident.
Mitchell Hospice House is expected to open its doors to Siouxlanders March 31st and will be the first of its kind of that facility here in Sioux City. The Iowa National Guard has announced who will be the new commander for the 185th Air Refueling Wing here in Sioux City. Colonel Adam Carlson will take on that role. He was previously with the 185th as a maintenance group commander through 2023. That's when he took on the role at the National Guard Bureau at the Pentagon as a director of Joint Action Control. Meanwhile, former commander of the 185th, Colonel Sonia Morrison, has been picked to be the next Air National Guard Readiness Center Inspector General. That's at Andrews Air Force Base in Prince George's County, Maryland. Now, the change of command is officially scheduled for this summer, sometime in June. The Iowa National Guard also announcing last month that they had completed the design of the $95 million runway replacement project at Sioux Gateway Airport. Representative Randy Feenstra said during his town hall on Friday that he hopes the apron construction and runway project can begin in the next year to year and a half. Now, the Iowa National Guard says that ground will be broken for a new $14 million Army National Guard maintenance facility here in Sioux City as well. That's expected later this year. 2 Northwest Iowa projects are receiving funding from the Iowa Economic Development Authority. Service Trucks International Incorporated has received a tax benefit program for high-quality jobs. The tax incentive would help the company build a 56,000 square foot building in Sioux Center, which will be used for multiple purposes, including indoor product testing. The $9 million project is expected to create 6 jobs. And the Cherokee County Conservation Board has received $35,000 in a community attraction and tourism grant. That's to build a trap field support building at the Licklider Shooting Complex there in Cherokee. The $185,000 project would create the needed viewing areas and modern amenities for spectators during public use and during events.